Hey, everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Javier in the Air, episode 4 of season 3. So, we are in the midst of doing a lot of things, so I'll just get to them. It's probably going to be one of our shorter podcasts. I don't have much updated because I wasn't doing much this week, even though I did get some projects in, and we'll have some updates. We'll talk a little bit about what's coming next week, and then we'll have a quick little Zen moment, and then we'll get to our beer review. So, thank you everybody for asking about how I'm doing. It's just this cough. There's nothing. I was out yesterday doing things left and right, a lot of work done, and yet I still have this cough that's not productive. It doesn't go anywhere. It's just a dry one that has to do with, I guess, allergies. So I've had it before. I just have to deal with it until it's done. So thank you for that. All right, so we got a lot of stuff done yesterday around here. I got some projects that will be coming up in the next couple of weeks that I'll talk a little bit about, like I said, and then we'll do the beer. So this week and this weekend was all about getting some stuff done that I wasn't able to get done during the really cold snaps plural that we've been getting around here. So for example, it was in the 50s in the beginning of the week, went down to the 30s, went down to the low 30s, went up to the 50s, and yesterday was a high of like 67, and today it's currently about 63. This is Sunday, about 2:45. So you will see quite a bit of up and down, up and down, up and down. This coming week is going to be the same thing. Within I think 24 or 36 hour period, there's going to be a 60 or 65 degree swing going from about 60. No, I'm sorry, about a 40 degree swing going from about 60 degrees, 67 degrees, I think is the high, or even 70, down to about below freezing, like in the high 20s. So with that, I had to try to get a lot of stuff done this week. And so I have to apologize for all this coughing for the new people that come in. So what I'm trying to do is get all these projects in before it gets cold again. So, and as I was seeing around, as I drove around the neighborhood yesterday, everybody's trying to do the same thing, trying to get as much work or as much fun squeezed in this weekend as they can before it snaps down cold again. Now, for my peeps up north, in the northeast, things have been pretty bad. If it's not snowing, it's flooding, and if it's snowing, it's horrible snowing that people are stuck in their homes and power outages and everything. So I hope everything goes well for you guys up there. If you manage to see my show, hang in there. Sun's right around the corner, I'm sure, just like it always is every year. Just do your best and remember to stay warm. I think I'm going to have some. Last year I did some survivor tips after snowpocalypse or snowmageddon, depending on how you called it. So I think I'll do that next week also. Talk a little bit about what you can do to protect your house, winterize it if possible, and just ways of staying warm in times of absolute cold, or close enough. All right, so I'm going to show you some breakdown of what was the tree. We did a good honorarium of my ash tree last week, and I appreciate everybody who commented about it and told me little anecdotes about their trees. And I thought that was nice. And so we'll get to see some of the tree highlights and what I did with the limb. And then we'll talk a little bit about my neighborhood and some other things. But let's go real quick to the tree. So as you see here, I didn't get to show it last week, but this is I got a better shot of it this week as I was breaking down everything. This is the shot of where the limb fell. This is the breakage point And as you can tell, it was kind of dried out already. And I'm having it looked at again as of tomorrow to try to get some more work done on it and removed. So from there, I wound up breaking it and chainsawing it down into these parts. If you notice this, each of these logs is probably about 40 to 45 pounds each. So overall, it was probably about 7 to 800 pounds worth of limb. So then from there, what I wound up doing was breaking down some of the smaller branches, or actually I broke down some of the smaller branches like I did last week, and I put them into my two little fire pits, and I'll have a nice little fire pit going for the next time I'm outside during a really cold spell. So it wound up taking me about 3 or 4 hours, and then what I did was I wound up putting them into a my wheelbarrow. This is some of the smaller logs that I had, and taking them to the front. And thankfully, the good neighborhood, I posted a message, and everybody came and took all the wood away, so it's not going to be put into a landfill. So I do have some projects set up for these trees that I saved some of the parts, so we'll see how that goes. Sorry about that. I had to change angles a little bit now. So you see what I was doing with the wood, and like I mentioned in the voiceover, thankfully this neighborhood was in the mood for looking for some good firewood. So I mean, this was an ash tree. It's still out there, of course, but that limb was probably 700 to 800 pounds easily. Um, Broke it all down. Kept a couple of pieces for some projects that I want to do soon, and might get to it in the next couple of weeks as well. So it's gonna be quite a good one. Hopefully everything will work out good. Let me see if I can adjust the camera here a little bit. Okay, so um, so some of the projects I've been working on involve some different things. Have one goes almost all the way back to season one, and then I want to talk a little bit about where I got some of this stuff for my project. So I have a little video that I'll show right after this about the wine barrel project that I'm working on, which is really exciting to me. It's not going to work out exactly as I thought, but it's still really cool. And thanks to Brother Rob and Karen for getting me the wine barrel. And so I will take a look at that and show you the video on that. So the other thing that I've been doing is reworking the garden. And it looks like it fell again. So I got the cage up, and some of you who have been watching, who've been with me all 3 seasons, thank you for watching. Seeing the progression I did of the cage. So I started out as just a little kind of a box square that I did when I first started gardening. I didn't like it, and when I was trying to grow corn, it actually got too short. It wasn't tall enough for the corn to grow well. So what I did was I reworked it, and I made a super huge cage that was probably way more than I needed, and it didn't. I put it together in sections, but I didn't get the sections together well, and so the flaws began to come out as I was working on. I'm getting a halo-like effect. There we go. And then it goes dark. See? If I get the sun here, this is crazy. If anybody has any ideas of what I can do to try to get this consistency, the camera is picking up the light, and I either have it so that I'm in the halo effect, or actually that's pretty good. Maybe I'll have to hold it here. So, or it gets really, really dark. Okay, so technical difficulties always over here at Javier in the Air, but we try our best to get you a good show. So the cage. So I'm gonna have to rebuild it. Haven't started planting anything yet. That's gonna come starting probably in the next week or two into February. I'm gonna try to go back, try to grow those carrots. I have multiple upon multiple carrot seeds of different varieties and different colors, and we'll see if I can get those to grow this year or not. Last year, I did not get them to grow, so we'll see how it goes this year. I will be tilling the soil, getting it ready for planting, making sure that all the other grass seeds and everything get out of it, and then I will plant, and we'll see what we get this year. I'm still gonna do the carrots, but I'd like to do one or two different things that a lot of people around here probably won't plant. So if you are a garden farmer, or you are a farmer, let me know what else can grow around this time of year, and we'll be able to maybe get it on the show and see what we get. So, okay, so from that, I started working on. Actually, I had a great day yesterday. Got about 12,000 steps in, and one of the things that I did is I went to the Restore. So, for those of you who may not know what a Restore is, it is sponsored and run by Habitat for Humanity from my favorite president, Jimmy Carter, and started by him to build houses. And then when they had leftover materials, they would sell it to everyday people like us, handymen and stuff like that. Um, uh, and so what we got from that was that over the years, construction companies and builders and stuff like that started donating for probably for, of course, as a tax write-off, but donating regardless, construction materials so that everyday Joes like you and I could buy these materials at a fraction of what the cost is for if you go to like Lowe's or Harbor Freight or any places like that. So what I found yesterday at this Restore, it was phenomenal. So I've been to quite a few Restores in the past, but this one here, I don't know if it's because there's still a lot of construction going on in this area, a lot of building of houses and stuff like that, but it is fantastic. If you live in the Cedar Park, Austin area, I highly recommend you come to this Restore. They also have an online store, which I had not realized that they did, but they do that. I don't think they do delivery. It's probably just order and then come pick up. But what I found was everything I wanted. I mean, I'm going to have to go back multiple times because I was like a kid in the candy store. Imagine Bob Vila doing like a Willy Wonka dance up and down these aisles. So much stuff to look at. I kind of we breezed through. I don't know how to say it. The store, and I was just there to kind of look at it. And I want to give a shout out to my sister Norma, who told me about it last week. And this week I finally got around to getting there, and it just went nuts. So I found some doorknobs. Now they have doorknobs still in the box, so untouched. And now they have some that have been touched, and those are pretty cheap. But if you're looking for a specific set of doorknobs, and you're looking for say 4, 5, 6, 7 of them, I actually got 4, and for my upstairs rooms, then it's absolutely worth it. They were $3 a box. The brand new in the box. The boxes look untouched. In fact, to the point where they had a little dust on them. So that tells you probably just sitting in the back of some container during the construction process, and then they realized they had too many. So again, for those of you who may not know what a Restore is, I told you about a little bit about the history of it, but it's just amazing some of the things that they have. All new sets of tools. Marble, uncut marble that they were selling $10 per square foot. Doors, door jams, the entire box door that you put into the hole where you cut for a door. It has the whole frame and everything with it. Knobs out the wazoo, kitchen faucets, bathroom faucets, sinks, commodes, anything and everything. So if you're doing a construction project on your house, and you're doing it yourself, I highly recommend that you go to a Restore in your area and find what you need, because you'll find it. Now, of course, there's some things that are maybe only 5%, 10% cheaper. It may not even be cheaper, but they may be the same price. Like some of those doors I was telling you about, they were still wrapped. So it was the door and the frame itself, so they were still wrapped. But if you're looking for something on the low end, cost wise, something that they have bukus of, and yeah, bukus is a technical term. I highly recommend going to the Restore. One, the money gets funneled back into the Habitat for Humanity project, so that's a good cause. Of course, it's still, you have to pay for salaries of the individuals and that sort of thing, but all the proceeds and that they get from it go back into Habitat for Humanity, so that's a great reason to go there. And then they just have it all. I mean, it's just worth it to look. Chances are they're going to beat the price of Lowe's or Home Depot or Harbor Freight or even Ace Hardware. Um, yeah, granted, now this wouldn't be considered a mom and pop place because it is run through the Habitat for Humanity, which is a nationwide organization, but it's still going for a good cause, so I am touting it here on the show. So hopefully you'll have as good as an adventure as I had. And in fact, I'm probably going to go back again next week and get some more knobs and maybe even look into some other things and maybe even a shed project. Stay tuned on that one because that's going to be a labor of love if I can get it done. So we'll see how that goes. So what did I want to show you? Let me show you some of the knobs that I did. Actually, one of the ones that I did in the kitchen for the pantry. So now, this house is older, and I've mentioned this house many times, and I've shown you it. Built in '86, and during that time, there were a lot of things done that aren't really done now, especially for houses of this size. Now, if you start getting into 2,000 square feet, 2,200 square feet, and larger, you start having some of these things come back. But for smaller houses, they just don't do it anymore because they use that space for something else. So, for example, I have a pantry, and some of these houses that are newer and of this size probably don't have a pantry, or they have a small pantry. This is an actual closet. It's probably 4 foot deep, same height as the rest of the room, and it's got 4 shelves, and then even the floor space that I can put stuff, and I have put stuff. And so it's a fantastic little pantry area for the kitchen. So I finally got the doors. I'm sorry, the knobs for it, and then I got some knobs with locks on the upstairs for all the rooms upstairs. So that was 4 doors, and I got 4 sets yesterday. $3 a pop, by the way. And so it turned out to be really great. And then I bought a new kitchen sink. It doesn't have the little shower head that you get with it, but it's I don't necessarily need that. It's not a very deep kitchen sink, so I don't need to have a shower head nozzle on top trying to always use that. I do fairly well with just regular water. So, and I couldn't find a part for this kitchen sink. It's an old enough sink that they discontinued making this one, and I couldn't find it. And so what it does is it just makes a loud noise every time I turn it on. For those of you who have been to my house know what I'm talking about. So let me show you the knobs, and then we'll come back and I'll talk about some things that are coming up for me and some other people next week. And then we'll have our Zen moment, and then we'll have the beer. So we'll be right back. Okay, so forgive the candid shot here. You got some of the inner sanctum of what my pantry holds, which looks like it's just paper products and some glass products at the bottom there. Anyway, so this is the existing knob and door set, lock set. Though it doesn't really lock. This is just a door knobs and the handle itself and the little pushy in thing, whatever that is called. Yes, pushy in. That's what I used. So this is the afterward, and you can see it's a totally different type of a knob. It's more of just a handle, which I thought would be good for ease of opening and closing. Now there's not a lock to it, and it doesn't automatically push in because I have it set that way. But it's really nice, and it worked out really great. And hey, you can't shake it for $3, right? I thought that was a fantastic deal myself. Check it out. So there you have it, the doorknob project for the pantry door. So yes, and it was a view of the inner sanctum of my pantry. So It turned out to be real great. So what I'm going to do now is talk real quick before we go into our Zen moment. I wanted to talk a little bit about what's going to be upcoming for the show. So I'm still trying to get a co-host, and hopefully I can get one here in the next month or so. Someone who wants to shoot the breeze with me as we're set up to do the show, kind of like what I've done before with some other people, and then like the tasting that I had with Brother Rob, where we were kind of just feeding off each other on that. And I have some more projects coming up. I also am hoping to interview some people that have um, businesses around town, the Cedar Park area. There's plenty of new businesses going up. There's a ton of stuff that's going on out here. The Be the Light Craft Fair is coming again in a couple months. I'll let everybody know when we have a location down for that. Slackers, I've shown a little bit about Slackers and some of the beer they had on tap, which was not their own. However, this week they were closing up on finishing a couple of their beers, brewing it. So now it's going to be probably 60 to 90 days, depending on what their fermentation process is for their beers. I know one of them was going to be a blonde IPA. I think it was a blonde IPA. And now I'm doubting myself, so we'll see. So if anybody from Slackers is actually watching this show today, shoot me a note and let me know your list of beers, and I'll talk about it next week. So Slackers is a brew and coffee house. They still don't have early morning hours yet, but they have some good coffee that I need to talk about, and I'll get it on video for us. And then there's also a couple of other places that are opening up that I'd like to get to, brewery and a couple of restaurants and stuff like that. So I think it'll be good if we can get out of this COVID phase that we're currently in. So let's go ahead and go to our Zen moment. It's going to be a little bit different this time. See what you think. Let me know what you think. I got some great reviews for the upgrades that I'm doing as far as editing goes, and for the music, and also for the poems that I've been bringing on from Jay Anderson. So let's see what we have today. Let's check it out. House, sitting in the dark of night. Then, low lights frame it in silhouette. Another day has come and gone. It is time for it to rest. Staring out into the Ebon, time for it has come and gone, and still it offers a wooden embrace to protect one from events without. Sounds are made from without and within, as the day's heat is given to the air, as it contracts and settles down, a wooden domicile without compare. As I sit outside and ponder, but the house that now is mine, the world doth spin around me, taking us through time. There you have it, our Zen moment. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have, and I hope this was not as different as I said it would be, but that's going to be coming soon. So we'll see how that is. And so I hope you got everybody into a good frame of mind and looking into what's going to be coming up. Another cold week for some, probably a colder week for others. And so I hope maybe a little bit of this has helped you out to get through the week. And if you need to, you can always come back and take a look at it and listen to it. Listen to the words. Zen Moment's always available from episodes of Javier in the Air. I started it, I believe, around mid-season 2. So hopefully you can go back and watch some of the other ones if you really enjoy it, and put them all together in a montage maybe. So now it's time for spirits. Hey, it's spirit time. Yeah, spirit time. Hey everybody, welcome to Spirit Time. So now, this week, last week I had a beer. This week I'm gonna have a beer as well. I want to give thanks to Scott out at the Boutique. He was open yesterday. Thank you, and I picked up some more beers from him. So if you haven't been to the Boutique before, it is a beer bottle shop. They have some oldie but goodies beer there, and then they also have a lot of new beers that are coming down the pipe from all over the country. So if you don't, if you've never had beer before and you want to try it out, and you're of legal age, I highly recommend going out to the boutique and talking to Scott and saying, I don't know what I like. It's my first time really trying beer, but I want to try to get a better understanding of beer, taste wise. What do you have for me? And he will be more than happy to walk you through. So at this shop, you can actually sit down and have a beer too, and then and drink responsibly, and then you can take some home. So yesterday, unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of time. I was able to just go and pick up some beer and bring it back home. And I always tell myself, and I told Scott yesterday, I said, I always tell myself that well, maybe, Scott's not going to have something new for me because I have been, for those of you who don't know, I did 100 days of beers right when the first lockdown occurred in the Austin Cedar Park area. 100 days, different beer every day. So those are 100 different beers that I got from the boutique. And, I still see some that I'm like, yeah, I remember that one. But there's so many more that I've never seen, and I think it's just great that Scott and his crew are able to just continually bring out new flavored beers. Some of them do well, I'm sure, for him, and then he'll keep some around, and then some of them you'll probably never see again. And I think you'll see on some of the reviews I've done some of those beers that we hope to never see again. But a lot of them are really good. A lot of them are good. A lot of them are really good, and then some of them are just knock it out of the ballpark. So if you are not a beer connoisseur or not a fan of beer, but would like to try to start, definitely go to the boutique and give a shout out to Scott. Say Javier sent me. What do you got? For those of you that are not in the Texas area or Austin Cedar Park area, find the local bottle shop. I highly recommend it. I'm pretty sure the people there are quite knowledgeable because otherwise, why would they start a shop like that? And will give you their um, words and their likes and dislikes, and will help you to pick a beer. So now you can do like a lot of people do is they have a set beer that they like to drink again and again and again. And I find myself my taste very. I will find some and then I'll move away from it over time, and then I might come back to it. Um, Right now, I'm really into porters and stouts. 512 Brewing has a double pecan porter, which I just found it, and it's pecan or pecan, depending on what part of the country you're in. Double pecan porter that I haven't had yet. I'll probably have it on the show, but it's fantastic. But I wanted to get to this one because I just like the way um, the labeling really spoke to me. So, part of the things, and I'm sure the marketing teams of a lot of these companies are just having a fantastic time coming up with some of these names. I'm sure the brewmaster and the brew team get together and make up some of these names as well. Which, if you're a brewmaster or you work at a local brewery, or even if you don't work at a local brewery and you'd like to be on my show, reach out to me by email or smoke signal or Morse code or any of the other more normal ways of reaching out to someone, and I'll have you on the show and we could talk about perhaps a little bit about the marketing and how um, a team or teams go about coming up with some of the names that they come up with. So to cut to the chase, this is Sweet Baby Java. That's the first thing that my eye hit yesterday when I was looking through the singles in the refrigerated section of the store. Sweet Baby Java. So this is from the and I've never done a review for these guys before too. So welcome. This is for the Duclaw. Hopefully I'm saying that right. The Duclaw Brewing Company out of Baltimore, Maryland. So This is Sweet Baby Java. Let me see if I can get that there. Sweet Baby Java. Just I just had to go for it because I've been on this coffee streak for quite some time, but just the fact that it's Sweet Baby Java. Again, the marketing teams must have a field day enjoying themselves making some of this stuff. Okay, so this is a espresso bean infused chocolate peanut butter porter. So it hits a lot of the check marks for me that I'm looking for lately. Coffee of some sort, porter, um, and chocolate and or peanut butter just kind of goes in the mix. Now, when I say chocolate and peanut butter, for those of you who don't drink these types of beer, yes, sometimes it can be overpowering, and those aren't the beers that I normally like. I like a nice combination that brings forth all those flavors. Now, some people are purists and they don't want that. They'd rather have the taste of what they consider a beer. You still have your Bud Light and your Miller Light and your Coors Light and all those types of beers that are more the mainstay of what the American population does. But for those of you that don't and want to add something else to your repertoire, by all means, um, try out some of these beers. I highly recommend it. And if you're in town, go to the boutique. And if you're in town and you want to meet me for a beer, let me know. We'll set up a time and we'll go out to the boutique and I'll introduce you to Scott and Jenna and we'll have a good time. So anyway, this is 6.2 ABV. Not particularly high, but not so low that I don't even want to talk about. And let's see, there's a little thing I want to read here. Our medal winning chocolate peanut butter porter infused with whole bean espresso to add new depth and complexity to our sweet baby. Pop the top, take a sip, and you'll wonder, where has this been all my life? So I know it's cheesy. It's like a dad pun, a dad joke, and I'm not a dad, but that's still friggin' hilarious to me. So that there it is. So all right, so here we go. So let's open it up. And I got my trusty glass here. This is my trusty Adelbert's Brewery. I'm still using your glass for your beer and everybody else's. Oh, that's nice. Real chocolatey look to it. There, for the camera's sake, you can see it. I don't know what that. Oh, that's just my thing. All right, so here we go. Yes. Now the first thing that hits me before I even, just by putting my nose in there before I tilted back to take some, I'm getting a real good smell of peanut butter. It's kind of going away now, so it's probably first impact you, and then as it oxidizes, it starts going away. And this is really good. I can taste the peanut butter for sure. I can taste a little bit of the chocolate. I can definitely taste the espresso bean. So, one, it's not as sweet as I thought it would be, which is good. Sometimes they go too sweet, and then it feels like you're drinking like a thinned out maple syrup. But this is good. Definitely, definitely a nice, refreshing taste to it. You can definitely get the porter aspects of it. I think it's really good. Again, it's not sweet, really. I think the espresso cuts some of the sweetness that you get from the chocolate and peanut butter. So I think that winds up really good. Um, I'm gonna give this a 7.5 thumbs up. So I rate anywhere from 0 to 10 thumbs up. I've never gone below a 4, I think, but definitely don't have to worry about it here. 7.5. So once again, Sweet Baby Java, Sweet Baby Java from the Duclaw Brewing Company out of Baltimore, Maryland. So Duclaw, good going on your Sweet Baby Java. I gave it 7.5 out of 10. If you would like to discuss my 7.5, by all means, please reach out to me and we can have a discussion. Or if you'd like to send me some more of your other available beers, please do that as well. And we will continue to, maybe we'll have another dew claw out here more or less sometime soon. But there you go. So 7.5 dew claws, sweet baby Java.